Hi, my name is Amber, and this is not the world that I was raised to live in. This is not the world that my mother had me primed for my entire child and young adult life. As a evangelical fundamentalist, Southern Baptist, we also participated with the IBLP, the Institute of Basic Life Principles. If you've seen the documentary Shiny Happy People, that can shine some light on to the rigidity of the world that I come from. To say that I've struggled with anxiety my whole life is an understatement, and most of my anxiety comes from the Bible. I no longer believe and I don't participate in religion at all anymore. But when I was a child, I was very much invested. I loved the idea of Jesus very much. And the idea of, a socialist that wants to feed people food without getting money in return, or healthcare, healing the sick, these were all great characteristics. He told us not to judge one another. He told us to love one another. These are things that I've held deeply. Even while deconstructing from religion, I still believe that it is my responsibility as a human being to love my fellow man, to appreciate all that this earth has to offer and all the people on it. Excuse me, my cat is going to be jumping around and maybe might make an appearance. So, but anxiety is an understatement. As a punishment, I would get mandated to read and write reports on the Bible. And it was so bad toward the end, I would say between 14 and 16, that I remember huge chunks of my life being grounded for very, very benign, normal teenage person things. But because they were a rule or a law within our household, it didn't even have to be a biblical principle. It could have just been my mom said that this is the rule, and so that's the rule, which is fair, which is absolutely fair. But if I could even begin to describe, I could probably write out what I was allowed to do and allowed to participate in any regard, then it would be for me to write out the rules of things that I wasn't supposed to do, because there was so much that I was not allowed to do. But anyway, getting back to, I was getting grounded for a lot of long chunks of time. Summers, I remember being grounded to my bedroom, and forced, like I said, to read scripture and write summaries. Or my mother really liked the fact that I could recite long texts, so she would put me in a position to recite an entire chapter or a specific chunk of text that she really thought would save me. And I would be inundated with that text until I could memorize it verbatim. And there was a lot of discrepancy as to whether I was allowed to use a King James Version Bible or an NIV Bible, or if I had to use the old text. I'm sorry, it's been so long, and I have been really doing a lot of work to deconstruct that some of these things have gotten fuzzy, or I've forgotten pieces of information just because it was so much. Information overload is one of the things that they like to do to keep you distracted. And so whenever I was misbehaving, they would just give me another chance to fry my brain out. I probably would have been an excellent student if they had cared at all about my love for science and history. But because I was only supposed to graduate so that I could have a diploma and show the world that I did that. And then I was supposed to get married and pop out babies, and just have as many babies as I could. My family was very much involved with the quiverful movement, which means like a quiver of arrows. You want to have as many of them as you can, and then shoot them into different directions all over, whether it be America or the globe, because colonialization and Christian whitewashing. I'm talking because I have to. I'm talking because I can't seem to do anything else other than talk. I want to be a light for people that are trying to find their footing after going through extreme religious trauma. I believe wholeheartedly that utilizing our souls as a bargaining chip in the Christian church, and raising somebody from fetus essentially to participate in a church that you don't necessarily agree with, and then are forced to go, is something that I hope not many have awareness of or familiarity with. But I can't imagine that there aren't hundreds of thousands of people out there that have similar life stories and similar life circumstances. I really wanted to get on here and break the ice and start talking about this. There's so much to say that I don't even know how to end this, but I appreciate anybody that wants to listen, and I'll be posting as often as I can to talk about these things, because I just find it to be so important. The people that are in power right now, they think very similarly to the way that the people I was raised with think, and it's terrifying to think that if we were to get some of the last rights stripped from us, that we could end up being subjected to living out a religious ideation or a lifestyle that we don't agree with or want to participate with. Anyway, I hope you have a good night, weekend, whenever you're watching this, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.